Welcome to a live editing session. The next round. I am Kauffman, and I'm going to be working on prepping for my book, The Last Scarecrow, a Dawn of Magic series. For those of you who've been joining me the past couple weeks, you know I've spent about 2 weeks on prepping the characters, the world building, and a couple different elements. We had a fun time with the magic system, so I can be prepared and ready to hop into the second draft of my dark fantasy novel. So come join me. Today, I am almost done. As you can see here, I have a little to-do list. I have it. I'm getting close. I'm going to be focusing on my supporting characters. So come join the fun. If you want to come work with some supporting characters for the world, come join the conversation. By the way, I'm Kauffman, and I am here with the Right Now community. I'm on a mission to help the unpublished writers of the world with writing their first book by focusing on the lifestyle, the mindset, and the process. So come join the community, and we are streaming every day right now. All right, beautiful. So I am all set on my end. Perfect. So as you can see, I have my to-do list. All right, so we got the second draft to-do list. So I'm making pretty good progress on it. The past couple days of Kauffman Writes episodes, I've been taking a little bit more time on the character development aspect and some of the other things, and then definitely not getting distracted. So my goal today, I'm just going to focus on getting these last minor characters. If I have time, I will be able to get to the world map that I need to create. Once I have these two done, I will be all ready to start editing. Beautiful. So I'm going to pull up my editing sheet. So, and then for your reference, what I'll do is I'll pull up the character sheet on the left. And then for your benefit, if you want to check out the magic system, I was like, I'm back and forth. Do I show the magic or the timeline? I was like, I'll go the magic system for now because magic's fun. So there's just a little bit about the magic system. Okay, so which characters do I still have left? So I finished Quilt, Last Robot, Gold Sunflower. So I finished those ones. I am working on Wilted Sunflower. Perfect. All right. So we got a little work to do. These are more minor characters, so I know I just gotta focus. All right. Perfect. No distractions on the blurb today. I will skip reading through the blurb. All right. I'm gonna hop straight into the character development so I can actually knock these out. I got what, 10 characters? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and a half. All right. So 10 and a half characters, so to speak. Okay. Perfect. Hey, by the way, welcome, Courtney. Welcome. Masked and ML. Great to have all you in here, my friends. I have absolutely appreciated all of your help over the past couple of weeks where I've been developing a lot of the brain work and this background element of like the characters, the world building, and the magic. I really appreciate it. I am getting so excited about just the overall story the more that I get to explore each of the elements. So I'm like, all right, I'm ready for it to be published now. In time. Hi, I'm welcome. My bad. I'm playing modded Minecraft right now. Minecraft is always fun. Modded means that you get to play it in like a style that you probably like, don't you? It's been such a long time since I played Minecraft. I think it's cool because you have so much flexibility to play in the world that you want. That's super awesome. What's the mod on it right now? Virtually here, anyways. Welcome, Mary. Virtually, we're all virtually here to some way, shape, or form. Unless none of this is real, then the question is, are we here philosophically? Do we exist or don't we? About 100. Ooh, so you got quite a lot going on over there. We'll definitely have some fun. Feel free to tune in. So let's see. So with where I was at yesterday, so I did Golden Sunflower. I need to just read through the Golden Sunflower's bio one more time. I need to make sure that it makes sense. Okay. So the Golden Sunflower originated as a simple sunflower in a field of flowers alongside her brother, the wilted sunflower, influenced by passing songbirds, I thought about that. I think I was going back and forth and if it should be influenced by animals of some types or songbirds. I think it will be influenced by passing songbirds. I want to determine the type and I want to tie the songbirds into Crow's background in some way, shape, or form. So I'm going to further develop this. I'm going to give this a color further. Oh no, let's give this a highlight. Which one do I want to do? Yeah, I guess we'll do yellow. Oh no, actually no, I don't need to do that. I should just use a comment. I'm like so guilty about not using comments in early drafts. Once I start editing, I use comments for everything, but I'm guilty about not using it earlier on. All right, develop touching into Crow's backstory. Perfect. Okay. So the golden sunflower originated as a simple sunflower in a field of flowers alongside her brother, the wilted sunflower. When both of them were infected with the parasites of air, spirit, and time, they were granted sentience. The golden sunflower was granted musical manipulation, while her brother was granted dream manipulation. Which actually is very perfect that their abilities are almost opposing, but they're both a type of manipulation. Over time, the golden sunflower became more beautiful with the sun's growth, while the wilted sunflower decayed, growing more inward, and eventually leaving out of spite. I think there's a little bit more to develop here, but right now that's not important. The golden sunflower tried to influence animals who passed through the garden to treat their kind with care, but she was ignored, and they would trample over nature in passing. And try as she might, the other flowers were needlessly destroyed, until she realized that she could use her ability to control passerbys and put them into a trance-like state. Over time, these passerbys lost their animal form, changing into various forms of plants, vegetables, and wildlife while they toiled away in the gardens. Believing her ability was destined by nature, she worships it and wants to spread the garden everywhere. Okay, so from the background. Now it's interesting. So animals, so basically anybody who's caught in her trance, so anybody who's caught by her music, the initial effects is you're put into this kind of like, it's a hypnotic state. So it's like level 1 is hypnotic state. Level 2 is a deep trance where you lose time. Level 3 is you eventually transition into you basically change into like a plant or a vegetable and you basically become habituated in this garden environment. So it's kind of this three level change that starts with happy. So it's like physical, mental, and then it changes you spiritually. I like that. Believing her ability was destined by nature, she worships it and wants to spread the garden everywhere and wants she worships it and believes all animals must. Ooh, actually, I know. I need to grab the music. Actually, I need to grab the song. That is what I need to pull open. So I need to pull open. Let's see, where was it? I think I did it under synopsis. Yeah, I need to pull the song that she sings. So that's what I need to think on. All right, so this is like a hauntingly beautiful song, is what I'm going with. Okay. Believing her ability was destined by nature, she worships it and believes all animals must. And believes only the garden will set others suffering free. So I think the heart of her character is she wants to free others from suffering, but she's approaching it in a very maniacal way, in a very cult-like way. Okay, a religious musical siren of sorts, a religious musical siren of sorts. I'm gonna, instead of religious, I'm gonna put a cultish musical siren who wants to end others' suffering. They worship Mother Nature by entrapping passerbys to toil away in the gardens. They rely on enough growth to enact a ritual to worship nature. To worship, they have a very calm, warm, welcoming presence with an extremely crazed undertone. Okay, they've created a ritual to call forth the sun. They believe they want to return the Lancer. Actually, so I'm going to go deeper. They believe if they can call upon nature, they believe that if they can call upon nature, they can end suffering. They can end suffering for all. They believe that they believe that if they can call upon nature's force, they believe that they can call upon nature's I have to determine that nature's what. They believe if they can call upon nature, they can end suffering for all. I think I can flesh that out a little bit, but I'm not going to worry right now. Because I think I can actually lead it up to a ritual. The only thing is I use a ritual in a following obstacle. So I need to think about how the differentiation. Mm, okay. Let's see. I'm going to just drop a comment, flesh out the ritual further. Awesome. Abilities is musical manipulation. Their songs enchantments listeners into translate state. Level 1 is a calm hypnotic state. Level 2, trance-like state, or a deep trance with loss of time. Level 3 is a transition, physical transition into vegetative wildlife. Perfect. All right, that's good for her. So let's continue on to her brother, the wilted sunflower. So I think what's going to be the difference of the two of these is that the golden sunflower is going to come across as this very warm, welcoming individual with a very chaotic undertone. The wilted sunflower is going to come across as an extremely crazed, as a very in a very crazed demeanor with a very warm undertone. I don't think I need to determine whether they're good or bad. I think they just are. And I think that's how I want to explore it. Hey, what's up, Tiara? Welcome, welcome, my friend. Hope the work hustle is treating you well. Almost Wednesday. getting there slowly but surely. And I love the flowers and the music. I totally envision this with this part of the book because this is pretty early on. So when Scarecrow and friends, so at this point in the story, it's Scarecrow, Crow, and Pebble. They encounter Golden Sunflower at about 35% into the story. So basically, it's near the beginning of Act 2. And then they encounter Wilted Sunflower, maybe about like 35%. Wilted Sunflower's a little further away in the forest. I know, I like that. I was like, they become kind of like type of like zombie wildlife. About 20 of the mods are magic mods. Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. It's been quite a lot. I feel like there's so many different ways that you can mod Minecraft. There's definitely a reason Minecraft is as popular as it is. It's a really fun game. The Siren Flower. Ooh, mass toaster. I like that. I know I called it a siren. I think I'm actually going to I think that's actually what she's going to be referred to. I think that's what I'm going to have Pebble referred to as by, because that's actually really, I was like, I don't know why I didn't just say straight out the siren flower. Yeah, I think that's a very direct way of putting it. I like that. Okay, then wilted sunflower. So wilted sunflower, they basically okay. So they actually kind of get trapped in this dreamlike state. So they're basically traveling. They get caught up in some type of current to escape. Originally, I had them laying down and resting and getting trapped, but I'm actually going to up the stakes. They're going to be escaping from a cult village. That's another character I have to develop. But they're going to be escaping from a cult village, and then they slide through this some type of river or maybe like a sewage something in this deep forest that leads them into this lake of muck where they are trapped in a dreamlike state and they have to overcome it. So, the wilted sunflower. Now, I think they both have the same origin story. Let's see. Let's see. The wilted sunflower. Excellent. So I think wilted sunflower will be he'll have felt trapped. He he will have felt trapped by simply being who he was, a flower. And that is why the magic will be when both of them were infected. He generally chose to ignore the world and live in his dreams, where he was able to adventure and explore far off lands. When they were corrupted by perfect, when they both of them were infected by the parrots of air, spirit, and time, they were granted sentience. Perfect. That is the same. When both of them were infected with the parasites of air, spirit, time, they were granted sentience. Wilted sunflower, or we'll just put he gained the ability of dream manipulation. And I think what I like about these characters is both the sunflower characters. I really want to show how their characters are, how their existence is shaped entirely by their magic ability. These are characters that I want to show how the magic has changed their existence, because that's not the case for a lot of the creatures in the story. That changes for different creatures. And I think playing into the magic portion of it, because so far the first third of the story focuses more on the a little bit of the foreboding, the post-apocalyptic. It's this kind of like dark world. And I think the second act will be fun to explore the how the magical side of this world is really how they're surviving, which I think is fun. Hey, what's up, Oak Flame? Welcome, welcome, my friend. Nice weather here. I wish it was nice weather here. We actually have a lot of fires in the area. The area that I live in is actually on standby because the fire there's just bad fires. It's like I'm doing great with like all my business stuff, which is awesome. Like I'm loving everything here, and like it's crazy because this world is awesome and I love all of you guys. Everyone who shows up in the community is incredible. But then like in the real world here, the fires are pretty bad. So like they might have to evacuate this area, and it kind of sucks because like, well, I mean, mixed, because I'm actually supposed to be traveling for the next week. So we'll see. I'm actually going to be on a road trip regardless, but hopefully things are all right here. Hopefully the fires don't get worse. Unfortunately, we step outside and it's like so hazy. It's like really, ugh, it's rough. Global warming, my friends. Global warming. Hence another reason I wanted to really rely on using nature in this story. But I want to do nature in a way that hasn't been done before, because it's very easy. A trap that a lot of books and a lot of movies fall into is they try to make nature like a force to be reckoned with, and it's just not really done effectively. And then it's just like, okay, the enemy is a plant, like that's stupid. So I'm really trying to ingratiate the way nature is used in this world with the magic system, with the timeline, and I feel like so far I'm happy with how it's turning out. Absolutely. Just found out today that there are two mysterious societies in my town. Going to be interesting to see what kind of trouble they will give my main characters. Ooh, I love that. Love mysterious societies. Those ones are so much fun to explore. Oh, and like you can go in such different directions with societies, right? You could like lead them in like more like a dark cult religious type direction, or you could lead them in a more like positive, like upbeat, like more power to the people type direction. Society, like little societies or groups are a lot of fun to flesh out because you get to flesh out a societal belief within a group. It's a societal belief. You get to flesh out a type of political belief within the group. Yeah, groups like that are a lot of fun to develop. We finally got some much needed rain where I live. Yeah, we need rain too, except it was about to like thunderstorm. The rain was about to be accompanied by thunderstorms, which thunder brings lightning, which brings fire sometimes. So I'm like, that was not helpful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am, I guess I'm not super concerned. I think I just trust in the fire safety systems and all the protocols to keep people safe. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been in a fire in an area. I've never lived in an area so close to a fire, even though growing up in or not growing up in California, I would say the past like 15 years, fire season has become much worse over the past 15 years, give or take. Okay. So let's see. All right. So I want to finish. So, Lip Sunflower. Well, both of them were infected with the parasite's very spirit and time. They grant sentience. He gained the ability of dream manipulation, which allowed him to, allowed him to pull others into a dream like state to which allowed him to pull was it about pulling others? Actually, I think it was about him exploring other. He gained the ability of dream manipulation, which allowed him to explore other areas in this dream like fashion. Then this actually goes into the idea of like, okay, is this dream area? Is this a world? Is this like a dream world? That would be cool, but that's not something I want to develop at this point in time. Or is this like a shared dream state that relies on the individual's dreams? Okay, so I think what it is he likes to trap others' dreams. This is how his power feeds off the golden sunflower. So this is actually perfect. So he gained the ability of dream manipulation, which allowed him to explore the world through others' dreams. He could, while his sister relied on dreams, their powers or their abilities complemented each other, complemented complemented each other, allowing 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 golden sunflower to put passerbys into a trance like state and allowing him to explore their dream world and keeping them trapped. Okay, I just thought of something really cool actually. So I thought of a really cool idea. So, okay, so the golden sunflower, and I actually think of a better way to even to complement their abilities more. So her ability is basically puts them into a calm trance-like state. The reason animals are transforming into vegetative wildlife isn't because of her ability. It's because two different magical abilities are being used on each of these characters, and the extreme power that two completely different abilities are used are completely like reshaping these animals DNA, so to speak. So, okay, so that's actually kind of cool. So, I think the way that I'm going to explore this, so the golden sunflower musical manipulation puts them in a calm hypnotic state, which makes them suggestible, which makes them suggestible. Well, level 2 puts them into a deep trance with loss of time. Calm hypnotic state, which makes them suggestible. They a deep trance. Let's see. So a deep trance allows during a level 2 is in a they fall into a deep trance while still being physically controlled, controllable by will still be physically controllable by golden sunflower. Perfect. Level 3. So physical transition into vegetative wildlife because of the use of two different magical abilities. So level 3 actually only happens because each of these animals who pass into this garden, they're basically being lured in through the golden sunflower's power of this musical manipulation. But what we don't realize is during this chapter or during this section, we're going to believe that it's all the golden sunflower. I'm going to actually reference the wilted sunflower during a dream. And then you'll realize when we get to the wilted sunflower part that the wilted sunflower is actually responsible for the dream portion of this. And whether or not I share it, I think I might not explore it in this book, but the reason they transform is this vegetative state. Wilted sunflower is deeper in the forest, while the gardens is technically outside this new city area. I haven't figured out the distance, but I think it leads to the idea that the wilted sunflower is able to affect a dream state in a very large radius, in an extremely large radius. And it actually makes sense why the wilted sunflower is attracted to Scarecrow, Pebble, and Crow because they have lived very crazy lives. And wilted sunflower is kind of picking apart some of their subconscious they don't remember in this dream state, which is interesting. Okay, so let's go back to wilted. The wilted sunflower, their abilities complement each other, allowing golden sunflower to put passerbys in a trance-like state, allowing him to explore their dream world and keeping them trapped. The combination of these two abilities had the unintended effect of transforming the animals into the combination of it had the unintended effect of transforming the animals mm, into a physical form of the sunflowers choosing. Generally, a vegetative type of wildlife to toil away in the gardens. Wilted sunflower. The sunflowers disagreed. How to spread their power. Golden sunflower wanted to stop disease or to stop suffering. by toiling in the gardens, while wilted sunflower wanted to stop suffering by living in by by helping others live in their dreams. This caused this caused him to set off and leave, eventually settling down in a part of the deep forest. I still need to define what these forests are called, but in a part of the deep forest, I might make it a jungle. A jungle might be more appealing, but right now it's a forest. So eventually settling down in a part of the deep forest where a lake of mud slowly formed around him as he settled into his dream state. He was still able to his power continued to grow, and he retained the ability to affect others' dreams in a growing area, circling the forest. Perfect. All right. Yep, his background's a little big, but all right. Character type. He is creepy. No, don't want to be a creepy. No, he's gonna be a little like Crow, where Crow's like kooky. Let's see, he is definitely in his own world. He is in his own world, swimming around his lake of muck, while actually living in his own dream world. He is able to exist in both his dream world and the real world. Let's see, what is he like? I actually think this is a good lead, and I think this is a very good early foreshadowing that he's actually a very childlike. He is very childlike because our first demon is very much a child. So he is very childlike and pulls. He is very childlike, and he is very childlike in nature. And should he be short tempered? He's very childlike in nature. I don't know if he needs to be short tempered, but I would say he's very childlike in nature, and wants to explore others' dreams for his own adventures. He's very childlike. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I feel like I could flesh out his personality a little bit, but okay. What does he want? He wants, let's see, he wants to explore. He wants passerby. He wants to explore others' dreams and live vicariously through their dreams. He can only explore them when they. Okay, so I think the way that I'll determine this is he can explore others' dreams who are if they are he can explore others' dreams if they are within a large radius, let's say maybe a couple miles, large radius, maybe I'll say like miles of his location, but he can only interact and affect the dreams if they come into contact with with the mud he secretes. Perfect. He believes he can end suffering by bringing all into their dream world. Let's see, abilities. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, I actually feel pretty good about that. I'm actually pretty happy with him. I'm very, very happy with his. All right, let's see what comments said. Pew, pew. Let's see, Mastos. She said, does he manipulate? Does the manipulation affect the host in any ways? Just curious. Great question. So for an R, let's see, I should say, have any side effects? Does the manipulation have any side effects? Great question. So when you're saying the manipulation, I'm assuming that you're referring to wilted sunflower because I'm kind of going back and forth between the musical manipulation and the dream manipulation. So are there any side effects? I think I would say, Toasted, that the biggest side effect is that when for animals that are truly influenced by both the musical manipulation and the dream manipulation over a long period of time, they basically become like a vegetative state, right? They kind of lose their identity because I want to show that the effects of two powerful different magical abilities like shouldn't be interacting with each other. It's kind of like the ability of an air spirit time is basically being used with another ability of air spirit and time, and it's creating an almost like a paradox effect. I would say in a way that the fact that these creatures are change, which is why we get to the garden so early on, is a result of a type of paradox, of a magical paradox type effect, which is super cool. I think it's something I'll probably explore more in depth a little later in the series. Now, are there any shorter term side effects? I would say the short term side effects is clearly loss of time. I would say loss of time for both of their abilities. For dream manipulation side effects, I mean, beyond being unable to wake up, how do I have the characters wake up in the current draft? Hmm. Actually, it's Scarecrow who wakes them up. I think inherently Scarecrow actually uses his magic, but he doesn't realize it. It's so early on in the journey. I think he inadvertently does something. I think what I want to do though is I want to make it seem like it's Pebble who actually helps them wake up. They kind of run away from they kind of run away from this dream thing. And there's something actually really funny. There's something really funny I do about this of that they trap both Scarecrow and Pebble. So in the wilted sunflower in the Lake of Muck, they trap both Scarecrow and Pebble in such a deep dream state. But he doesn't trap Crow in that deep of a dream state because Crow's already in his own like kooky world. So Crow actually wakes up the easiest because he's kind of already living in a dream state of sorts. And I wanted there to be like a comedic element of that, which I'm going to play up a little bit in this next draft. That's a great question. I hope that was clear, some like clear enough side effects. Let me know if that's kind of not enough because I feel like loss of time, loss of sense of time is one. Because when they're with the musical manipulation, they're literally lose 3 days where they're just toiling away in the garden. So loss of time, and then the long-term effect is loss of your physical identity. I would say those are the two general biggest side effects. Let me know if you think those are big enough or not big enough. I'd love to hear. Also, you need to figure out what is an antidote for this effect. Perfect. So I don't think there's an antidote once a creature's been changed. I think all these creatures who become this like vegetative wildlife, I think that's just who they've become. Because once you've been influenced by this magic, by the power of the essences for so long, as we know with the gemstones that we've developed, it changes you eventually. And this is kind of that same ideology of if you're influenced by this magic for too long, it changes your identity. And I think that's actually the same ideology I set up with, like I said, the gemstones. What I haven't decided is specifically how long in terms of like a time frame that I haven't decided yet. An antidote for the dream state for somebody to wake up. What is the cure for that? Hmm. Mhm. Yeah, because I feel like there is a cure. Right now, I'm just playing it off as Scarecrow wakes them up. I don't really speak to it. I could make the cure of them waking up kind of a little clearer. Like maybe they need to capture him or speak to him, or maybe they kind of like change his like thinking, like Scarecrow. They like reach him in the dream, and maybe it's a matter of them capturing and confronting him. That could be it. I need to think about that because that's also a really good point outside of Scarecrow's abilities. Like, how would other animals get out of it? I think that's something really good to think about. Mhm. Yeah, that's really what he wants, Mouse Toes. He literally just wants the freedom to explore. He really does want the freedom to explore. But I think what's interesting is he only goes so far. He explores outside of this field into the forest, but then once again, he prefers the dream world. There's a very interesting dynamic here that I think is really cool. Okay. So I think that's really good for my flowers. Moving right along to cloth and fire god. Okay. So we have two interesting characters here. Interesting. So these are both very minor characters. Who do I want to explore first? Okay. So I guess we'll do cloth first. Fire god is going to be a little bit more intense. Okay, so Fire God, next page, Cloth the doll. Okay, so in this story, this is actually between the garden section and the muck lake section. The characters get trapped by a group of pranksters. They're a prankster type community who believes in sacrifice. They basically capture passerbys to sacrifice them to their fire god. This is going to be the only time in the first book that I actually want to touch upon a not the essence itself, but I do want to touch upon a little kind of like world building insight into one of the essences, which is going to be the burn. So now that I've determined that, they're going to be referring to it as the burn, which would be super cool. So this community in the original draft, and I've been thinking about changing this, the community that they come upon is a basically a tribe of enchanted objects. In the original draft, it's basically like a bunch of just enchanted objects and pieces of broken tech that have come to life. Yeah, because in the rough draft, it's basically like they come in it's like a bunch of like different like random objects. Like it's like I got some like dolls, I got like some flying books, I got a table, I got a chair. Kind of thinking about like kind of it's kind of a mix and I was thinking about like okay, I think I got like a rope and I got like some shovel. I can play around with more variety. I have to better define what I want a tribe of enchanted objects. That part of the story revolves around Scarecrow, Pebble, and Crow are caught by them, put in a cage, and are kind of watching as they're about to be sacrificed to this fire god, which is basically this giant bonfire. The fire god is basically a giant bonfire that the town's going to sacrifice them to. So I think, and this I've kind of been thinking, like I think I'm going to make adjustments to how this tribe works. And I think this is going to be another good foreshadowing for illusion magic without it actually being illusion magic. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make this tribe actually revolve around a single character. And I think it's going to be a single character who has an ability, who's basically brought these pieces, these things to life. And I think what it is I think it's going to be almost like I think it'll be like a junkyard or like a scrapper type individual who kind of goes around collecting objects, and then their ability gives these objects sentience to an extent. Now the question is, does it make them minions or why? And the reason that this character is doing it is because they are. Do I do it because they feel alone, or do I do it because I could do it for another reasons, or do it because they want to build? Do they want to build an army? I hmm. Or do I do it just because they want to invent things? Like they're just like more like a mad scientist type trope. Hmm. So that I'm still thinking about. All right, let's see. Tiara been so busy at work today. I haven't been able to watch. How's editing coming along the session? It's pretty good. I'm working on the minor supporting characters right now. I'm pretty good with the two that I just touched upon. I finished the flowers. Now I've moved to this next section with this like tribe of it was original just inanimate objects that have come to life. And I'm kind of talking through essentially in the original draft, Cloth the doll is this doll that basically Scarecrow talks to through the bars and changes the way that the doll believes, and the doll actually helps them escape. They are able to escape, but then the doll is sacrificed in their place. And they kind of watch this doll who helped them being tossed in the fire as they're escaping, which is it's an interesting dynamic, but I'm really trying to I'm kind of thinking through the logistics of this section. Mm. Okay, so I'm thinking right now through the trajectory of this part of the story. Kind of like thinking through it. Well, while I'm kind of thinking about that, let's now's probably a good time to shout out. I'll just make a couple quick shout outs. If you are enjoying the stream, follow and subscribe. I'm a daily writing streamer on a mission to help the unpublished writers of the world write their first book. So, whether you want help with lifestyle, mindset, or technique, every day we got something for you. 245 daily consecutive writing live streams and counting. So, tap that follow button, tap that subscribe button. And if you're on YouTube, make sure that bell notification is checked and you'll be alerted when we go live. And then this is also a shout out to the writing community, the affordable coaching experience for unpublished writers. So, as y'all know, I have launched a brand new program for writers and the writing community. Are you looking for a dedicated writing coach? If you want to check it out, it's over at the Creative Ghost. I would highly recommend. I go through all the pain points and all the parts about why do you need a writing coach. I have 3 models. I have an hourly, a subscription, and a single book development session model. And then I go into each of the pain points, things like why do we need feedback on our books? Why do we need a development plan for the overall book strategy? Why is accountability important? Why do we need a series Bible? Why are outlines important? And it's all these different facets that I've just learned and I've heard from talking with over 1,000 writers over the past 6 months of listening to a lot of their struggles. So this is a brand new coaching program I've launched. I'll drop that. It's down in the YouTube description. I'll also drop it down in the chat as well if once again you want to go check it out. Now, additionally, because I'm launching the program, this is also a time I'm actually shouting out that I'm actually doing a free giveaway of a single coaching session. So let's see, let me see this. Let me pull up the form. Perfect. So I'm doing a free giveaway of a single coaching session. So for those of you, like, let's say you want to try it out or you want to see like, okay, what's this? What is this about? Right? So I'm doing a free giveaway. Absolutely. What you should do is I will drop this link as well. Let me copy the link. This is also in the YouTube description down below. But here's the link for the free coaching session giveaway. So this kind of lists out the details of what to expect from a coaching session. And then this also tells the requirements. Please, 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 you got to read the following before filling it out. So place a submission. We're going to be doing it on this Saturday. The Saturday stream will be a live stream. So the way this works out is put in a submission now. We have about, I want to say we have around 10 submissions so far. I was like, it might be more popular than I thought it would be. But so right now, so make sure you submit now. Essentially, you'll be getting a free 30-minute to 1-hour coaching session, just depending on the length of it. The normal price for this right now is I'm usually charging 30 to 60 for a coaching session for this style of coaching. We'll generally talk about your author, like career goals, writing goals, or we'll talk about the things that you're working with your writing techniques, skill, book development stuff. It changes for every author. Every writer has different needs. So this is what it's going to be about. Once you place a submission on Friday's live stream, I'm going to randomly select one of the submissions here on the live stream. Friday's live stream time, I'm still figuring out what time will be on Friday simply because I'm going to be traveling on the road. Once I know, I'll do an update on the YouTube community tab and on my Facebook profile as well. So on Friday's live stream, we'll pick one of the random submission entries. I'll probably have some type of randomization program. And if you win, you will then get the free coaching session, which is going to take place this Saturday. So it's going to be a live coaching session. Yeah, and it's literally as simple as that. It's going to be a live coaching session that'll take place this Saturday. Between the stream time is going to be, and this is listed in Pacific time here, which is 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely make sure you go out. There's not really too much to fill out. It's just a couple questions to give me an idea. So yeah, definitely go submit. This should be a super cool experience. I'm like trying this out. I feel confident that the format will work because I see a lot of big content creators do a similar thing. So I feel pretty confident about it. And then I also feel very confident about my own coaching abilities. So I think it'll be super fun. And even whether or not you win, like you should definitely still hop in the stream. The Saturday stream is still going to bring you a lot of value in terms of A, we're going to talk about the different pain points that writers deal with. And then B, you'll get to kind of learn from another coaching session and be like, okay, that might give you insight if they're struggling with problems that you might be dealing with. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely follow those links. And that is that. So super cool. Want to make sure I did that shout out. All right, awesome. Perfect. So I wanted to get that. And now I don't need that anymore. Perfect. Back on to some character development. I would, but I don't have a mic. Oh, yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah, you can only really place a submission. You got to have a video and a mic for it to work. So like I totally understand. If you have a computer or you have a phone, they do have they have built-in microphones. So like that is good enough. You don't have to have a specific type of mic, but you do have to have audio capability through a computer or phone. Similar to like the same audio capability you would need for like a Zoom call. It's same idea. Bethany is my living fashion doll protagonist for anyone who doesn't know. Yeah, Bethany is a pretty badass character, by the way. For Marcella's story, batteries not included. It's not no wait, batteries not required, included. One of the two. Awesome, LeMay. That will be cool. Sounds very, very cool. Awesome. All right. So let's hop back into this. Okay. So I think this is what I'm going to do. All right. So I think I'm going to I'm going to have to do two characters here because I think these two are actually going to be tied hand in hand. And I think I'm going to make this character an inventor. This character is going to be the Abomination. This character is going to be the Abomination. Let's see. And let's now think about their story because I think this doll is going to go hand in hand. And I think what this is going to do well is it's this part of this obstacle is going to work well. It's going to explore the essence. It's going to explore give a layer of the essences and the how it relates to the true essence. And this will be the essence of fire, the burn. It will also touch on the world building of how this abomination, who's kind of this like collector, has kind of been collecting things and trying to like build things and is bringing them to life. And then it will also do foreshadowing for the plot for the ability for our antagonist. And I think that's actually going to work well. Okay, so we're going to say, I'm going to do a quick little story for the Abomination. So the Abomination is, let's see. So what would be a really cool animal? Yeah, okay, cool. Batteries not required. I was like, I don't know why I was thinking included. Batteries not required. My bad. You asked a great question. By the way, did you just jump into your first draft or did you do planning before? If so, how much? So this is a really great question because this jumping into first drafts and second drafts, this is a little bit different strategy for everyone. So for me, we all know, right? We have the we're talking three types of like writing styles. We have the pantsers who literally just jump into the writing and write. We have the plotters who plan out everything, and then we have the plantsers who are the mix of the two. So with the first draft, I actually started Last Scarecrow on January 1st of this year as a 2-page free write. And you can see the background a little bit. I'll remove this for just a second. This was actually the image that inspired Scarecrow. I used this image, came up with a 2-page free write about a scarecrow getting his hat stolen by a crow. And then after a couple more free writes in January, I kind of fleshed out some cool things. And then after about, I want to say about 20 live streams, because this wasn't the only thing I was working on in January. But by the end of January, I was like, I want to flesh this story and make it a full story. I had written about, I want to say I'd written about maybe 10 to 20 chapters. So probably about 20, 30,000 words before I then pulled myself back and then I created an outline for the entire story. I created an outline with tentative chapter titles, and I didn't really stick to that. That wasn't like a dead set thing. Like I didn't have to stick to the 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 chapter thing. That was for me. I wanted to, because I like to have a game plan for plot. I care about telling a really great story. So that's why plot is always really important to me. And I believe I can flesh out all the other things that revolve around the character journey. Now, the outline was the thing I spent the most time in terms of planning. Once I did the outline for it, all the different chapters, I then went back into fleshing out the story. That was the only planning that I did for the first draft. I did that outline, and then the rest of the first draft I just explored just by coming up with ideas and writing and going throughout the process. Like most of these characters were developed, almost my entire supporting cast was developed just through trial and error. So, but now before I get into the second draft, I'm a big believer of, now that I have like the core of the story set, that you need to be intentional with the things you need to work on. So that way you can maximize your time, especially if you have like a job or you're a student or you have other responsibilities. Got to maximize your time. I try to minimize the amount of drafts I have to do. And the only way to do that is I have to be intentional with all the work that I need to do for each draft. That's why I do so much planning in between the drafts. So I'm clear on all the problems that I need to solve in a single pass through. So that was an absolutely great question. That's why there's a lot more planning for draft 2. Between draft 2 and draft 3, there may be more planning, there may be less. It depends on the state of draft 2 when I'm done editing it. So great question, my bad. Thanks for asking. Let's see. The abomination makes me think of one of Sid's toys. Yeah, so I think it's going to be an abomination. I don't know if any of you guys ever were, what I know I have gamers here. Was anyone here a World of Warcraft fan? Did anyone ever play WoW back in the day? Because I'm thinking kind of an abomination more in that direction, in that Blizzard, where they're kind of like kind of a little, or kind of like if that World of Warcraft type abomination met an abomination from like Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that's kind of the style or direction I want to go in with an abomination type character. I do want them to feel human. I want them to be a little Frankensteinish, in a sense. Let's see. So I need to think of their backstory. So they were originally, so then for them to have changed, then they would have had to have been a very beautiful creature. Writing community, I need your help. I need your help. Give me some ideas. What are some beautiful animals that you can think of? Think of what are like your top, like throw out some ideas for beautiful animals. I'm going to Google right now. So I'm kind of curious what Google gives me. Let's say top 10 most beautiful animals. I want to see what I get here. All right, I get a fish. I can't do a fish. Tiger, I already got a tiger. Peacock. I think I want to make it a 4-legged animal. I don't think I want to make it a bird for this character. A fox. I don't actually think I've done a fox yet. I could do a fox or a panda. Both those would be cool. Leopard. I do a leopard later on. A fox or a panda could be cool. I could do the kitsune type fox. I could do that style. Golden pheasant, hummingbird, lynx, finch, snake, not a snake. Chameleon. No, chameleon's not right for this one. Horse. No, not a horse. Lynx. Yeah, I think the two that I'm kind of floating between right now is, I mean, these two are the most adorable on here, but I think of like the creature type, I think a fox or a panda would actually work. Could potentially be. Horse. Yes, okay. Horse is a good one. Hey, what's up, Lucy? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I got my mountain time. I got my mountain time to GMT wrong. Aw, sorry. I know. I always struggle with what's the right time zone to list on the streams because I generally get we have writers here from literally all over the world. 70% is generally, I would say like 60 to 70% is US market, but of the US market, everyone's spread out throughout the states. We have Pacific, Mountain, Central, and East Coast will show up here. And then we have our mix of our UK. We got UK, Canada, and then Australia is the next one, followed by India and the Philippines. So I feel like I no longer live in my own time period. I live in all the other time zones of the world, being an online content creator. Let's see. So horses. Yeah, I was thinking horse. Would horse work? I was like, I don't think horse would be a good one. I don't want to go with a bird character for this character specifically. Foxes can be pretty. Rottweiler. Oh, Rottweiler. But I did just go with the dog for Quill. So I actually think I'm going to stay away from another dog character. I think I want to use this as an opportunity to touch on an animal type I just haven't explored yet. Ooh, minx. Minx, minx, minx. What does a minx look like? Let's go minx. Oh my god, that minx is adorable. All right, minx. Rise of the King talks about red pandas. The red panda would actually be interesting. Yeah, fox or panda are both good choices. Yeah, Kentucky got to represent the horses. Horses are great animals. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think the horse is right for this specific character. I have a Rottweiler named. Oh, that's a cool name. That's actually a very cool name for a Rottweiler. I absolutely love that. Deer, no, but it's because I actually have a deer character later on, and the deer character is more in the spiritual dark. It's the a deer character shows up during the dark when they're traveling through the dark light magic of the story. No otter, only because Audie, one of the main characters, is already an otter. But I think so. I think fox or red panda. Something about the red panda is just super cute. But I think okay. So now that I've got like these two, I think fox or panda could both work. And here's why, because I hear you with jackalope and I hear giraffe. The only thing is I think what I wanted the original creature to be is I wanted them to have something where they could stand up. Foxes and pandas can both stand onto their hind legs. Pandas more so than foxes, but I wanted that kind of that capability pre-existing of their transformation. Squirrels are actually really cute. I could have gone a squirrel too, but I already have a squirrel in the story. Don't worry, I'll need more animal decisions in the development to come. So fox or panda. I think now if I'm deciding between the two, the question I ask then is what, because I want to ask what do they represent? What does a red panda represent in Chinese culture? Let's go. Well, okay, so I'm basing mine. What is the mythology I'm basing it off of? We're basing on Greek mythology. So let's represent in Greek mythology because we're kind of basing the magic off of that mythos. Red panda spirit animal teaches you to stay calm in any situation. Its mantra is always to be balanced and kind. So red panda is a symbol of patience. Now, what does a fox represent? In Greek mythology, the Tumesian fox, also known as the Cadmean vixen, is a giant fox that was destined to never be caught. Interesting. So one is about common balance, and then in the myth, that's a cool little backstory. That's a cool little fable. Foxes are also known for representing cunning, playfulness, and resilience. They're adaptable, clever, and full of mischief. Perfect. It's a fox. The panda is cool, and I actually think I want to use the panda for another character because that red panda is so cute. That would make an adorable character. I'm gonna come back to my red panda, but I think the fox is actually perfect because this tribe is a tribe of pranksters. And I think this is actually going to play into the mischievous nature, the playfulness and the mischievousness that I'm looking for. So the abomination was originally a, and I did kind of like that. Maybe I play into the Greek mythology. Also was a Tumessian fox. I'm just going to go straight with Tumessian fox. Let's do that. Was originally a Tumessian fox. Okay. Was originally a Tumessian fox. Proud, noble, and mischievous. Was he cunning? Maybe, possibly. Proud, noble, and mischievous. Let's see, how did he change? And then what type of dynamic? What's I think I can have a cool tie-in actually. He was originally okay. Being too smart for his own good. He left his original fox tribe to begin his own tribe of those who would follow his way of thinking. He formed a band of animals. He formed a tribe of lost animals. He formed a tribe of lost animals who were neither good nor bad, were neither good nor bad, but simply wait, hold on. Let's do okay, I thought of something. Okay, all right. Getting a good idea. Something I want to incorporate into this book. All right, so he formed a tribe of lost animals who were neither good nor bad, but simply wanted to belong. So they relied on his cunning and mischievousness to survive. This is the same tribe of lost animals that actually, for those of you who've been paying attention the past couple weeks, this is going to be the same tribe of lost animals that Audie and Skunk were originally with. This will be the same tribe that Audie was with for a period of time. Now, at this point in the story, Audie and Skunk haven't been introduced yet. So it's not actually relevant to them, but it'll be a cool little foreshadowing tie-in a little later on. It will absolutely be a cool foreshadowing tie-in a little later on. So he formed a tribe of lost animals who were neither good nor bad, but simply wanted to belong. So they relied on his cunning, mischievousness to survive. When he was struck by the power of, let's see, what is his ability? When he was struck by the power of like power of creation. No, it's okay. So what is his ability then? His ability is an enchantment type ability. Let's see. And let's see. This is object enchantment. So his ability is object enchantment. Yep, object enchantment. It gives sentience to sentience to inanimate objects for a period of time. It gives sentience to inanimate objects for a period of time. I think it's just going to be straightforward as that. Gives them sentience. Gives sentience to inanimate objects for a period of time. However, the downside is every time he changed it, each use caused okay, so this will be a really interesting power dynamic. Each use caused his form to become slightly more disfigured, but he grew so attached to the blind fervor of these enchanted objects that eventually he was rejected. No, this goes into the story by Grusso. Each use of form causes his form to be slightly more disfigured. Goes into his storyline. Perfect. When he was struck by the power of object enchantment, he was able to give temporary life to inanimate objects. And now he grew so attached to the blind fervor and devotion of these enchanted objects that eventually he was rejected by his band, by his tribe of lost animals, for the abomination that he was slowly becoming. The abomination he was slowly becoming. He ventured forth collecting objects. And I think there's going to be something here. I think there's a reason that Audie and Skunk have a fascination for collecting objects. I think Audie was introduced to the idea while in this band of animals, because I think this abomination, I'm going to put here the abomination. I'll just put fox. He ventured forth collecting objects. And breathing life into them. Choosing to ignore the continued disfigurement for this blind little army of objects. However, over time, he realized that these objects could not survive or remain stable enough. Eventually, he spiraled into a slightly crazed state with the belief that these objects could only survive if he worshipped the original essence who bestowed this ability on him, which is the fire. So object enchantment will be fire. Let's see. I feel I mean I could do 2, but I think it might be more interesting. Because I feel like this should be a combination of probably fire. He's using fire to breathe life into them. I was like, spirit seems like the easy one. Yeah, it's probably gonna have to be fire and spirit. All right. Eventually, he spiraled in his slightly crazed state with the belief that these objects could only survive if you worship the original essence who bestowed this ability on him. So he established a village deep in the forest for his cult for his minions to thrive and worship. Perfect. And I think that is perfect backstory. Awesome. Oh yeah, that's great. I actually like that. Let's see, what else do we got here? Koala would actually be really cool. A koala would be a cool character. Favorite animal is a giraffe, Marcella. Squirrel. Yeah, I already have a squirrel, but I think the squirrel is actually going to be cute. The squirrel is one of the ones I need to flesh out on my list. We haven't had any giraffe representation since Madagascar, and they deserve better than freaking Mel. I actually, I think I do actually have a giraffe character in the story in the book, Marcella, but I think they're a minor character. I think they're a standalone character during the Colosseum arc of the story. I Because there's about 20 different animals I have in that part of the story, and I think the giraffe is one of the ones that I mentioned. I'm not sure the ancient Greeks would have known red pandas existed. I think that's actually probably why, because I think pandas originate more from Chinese and like Chinese culture, I believe, and that part of the world. So I think fox actually plays better into Greek mythology. Does the color of the fox change the meaning? It's a great question. That's a really great question. That I don't know. I think that originally, I think by going with this too messy and fox, which was originally like a very vibrant, looked like reds, oranges, and white, is now going to be a disfiguration of colors with kind of there'll be parts that look like a fox, but then there'll be parts. And when I say disfigured, I would say that with each object that they bring to life, a part of the object like almost like grows out of them. So all these objects that they brought to life, they now have all these different elements that are kind of just like a part of them. And I think that's going to be very interesting. So like by this point in time, this abomination, are they really considered a fox? Not really, but that their origin was that they were originally a fox. So like their mind, they'll probably be the aspect of the fox mentality. I think, but I think part of what I'm going to change for the obstacles is I think I'm going to make them a little bit. I think I want to use riddles or some type of wordplay for the characters to get through this part of the story. Drafts are African, but just because they don't originate from Greek mythology doesn't mean that they won't be in the world. I think there's just elements when I can tie it into Greek mythology are great, but I definitely have animals from I have animals from all different parts of the world. I think Greek mythology is just one aspect of it because I could tell that some of the roots of the magic system were kind of founded in that ideology. So with a lot of fantasy readers, when we can tie it into something deeper or a pre-existing system that works, that's a huge win because we always love tie-ins. We love tie-ins to deeper things. We also know Greek mythology works. It's a system that works. So it's for that reason specifically. All right. So character type. The abomination is going to be a cunning, mischievous inventor. A cunning, mischievous inventor who a cunning, mischievous inventor who is worshipped by a tribe. Is he worshipped? A cunning, mischievous inventor who let's say a cunning, mischievous inventor who hmm, who worships the essence of fire. A cunning, mischievous inventor who loves riddles, wordplay, and believes sacrifice is necessary to mm, to grow his tribe. Sacrifice is necessary for his tribe and his ability to thrive. What do they want? They want. What do they want? They want to be surrounded by they want to be surrounded by, I wouldn't necessarily say minions, but they wanna be surrounded by others who believe the same thing that he believes in. He wants others to he wants others to play his games, his riddles, and and overcome his traps. He almost does it because he loves seeing others experiencing these parts of his, it's almost his cunning, but he wants them to overcome it because he does value cunning. So okay, so I think that'll actually be good. That's good for him and pretty good, which means Cloth, the doll, is probably going to be one of his first minions. Probably why he has the most leniency. And I think Cloth will be the one who's probably seen him transform the most over time. Cloth the was the first doll, was the first inanimate doll brought to life by by the Abomination. I feel like I can give that a better name now that I fleshed out the story. The Abomination, the Fox. Okay, I'll just put the Abomination. Was the first inanimate doll brought to life by the Abomination. And okay, so was the first inanimate doll brought to life? Was the first inanimate object brought to life by the Abomination? The doll is a Raggedy Ann lookalike. Is a doll similar in fashion to a Raggedy Ann cloth like doll. Hence the name Cloth is very straightforward. They they early on they wanted to please their master, Abomination, with whatever they needed. As time progressed, they wanted others to play with. This was a partial influence for Fox choosing to create more objects, for Fox choosing to enchant more objects and let go of his physical beauty. Yep. Doll Cloth stuck alongside Fox even as he transitioned over time, leaving their group of misfit animals and forming their own tribe. All Cloth wanted was, and actually this will be want. What does Cloth want? I think what Cloth wants, and I'm going to make this very, very basic for now. I think Cloth literally just wants a friend, wants a real friend. I think the other creations were never enough because they were always blindlessly devoted to the abomination. So I think this cloth doll just wants a real friend at heart. Claw stuck alongside Fox even as he transitioned over time into the abomination, leaving their group of misfit animals and forming their own tribe. Cloth tried to befriend the other enchanted objects, but it never felt like a true connection because of their devotion to the abomination. Mm. Cloth missed. Cloth grew to cloth grew to resent abomination for leaving their band of misfit animals where they wanted where they had seen where they had seen what other animals who called each other friends were like. They wanted a real friend because they thought that would make them a real a real thing. I can't really go person. I guess I could go make them a real animal. Well, we'll go animal. I'll do this as like a fun thing. They wanted a real friend because they thought that would make them a real animal and not just an enchanted object. Perfect. I think it's literally as simple as that because that's when awesome. So I think that's actually good. And this is Scarecrow and friends come into here. Cloth is let's see. So cloth is also childish, discontent, full of wonder. Actually, I think they might feel discontent. They might be a little discontent, kind of losing hope. Childish, discontent, losing hope, and has given into the sacrificial belief of fire god their fire god that the tribe of enchanted objects worships. Yeah, I like that. What are their abilities? I don't think the cloth really has an ability. I mean, technically, cloth is the result of an ability, but cloth is not. Cloth ability is NA. I'll just put is enchanted object. Perfect. And I think that's actually going to work pretty well for that character. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Sophia? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Welcome, welcome. We're literally just doing some book development right now and some editing. I'm prepping for the second draft of my novel, dark fantasy story, The Last Scarecrow, and I'm doing a little bit of character development. Having a lot of fun. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, definitely an artist. What type of art do you do? Are you a Twitch streamer? Since you're over on Twitch, I assume you're probably gaming, is always my guess. Let's see, ML. Sorry that I'm quiet today. I have you streaming on my TV to listen and my laptop so I can chat. I'm working to create a better story planning notebook. I've been using comp books. Yeah, ML, you're totally all good. Totally no worries at all. I think what works really great about these streams is I'll always talk through my process, but I also recognize that over half the time, you're usually not just you, but most of the writing community in these editing sessions or sprints are working on your own stories as well. So like I recognize like how like probably over half the time this is you'll usually put on like videos in the background to listen to 'Cause that's what I would do. That's normally what I would do when I'm working and I'm kind of listening to other creators. So it's kind of like I'll always be doing my same thing. So then when people like want to interact and when you want to like come like build stuff with me, I'll be here. Or if you just want to kind of listen to like a writer talk in the background, I can do that too. I'll be passionate about my storytelling regardless. But I'm actually really happy that you're making progress on your story, Emil. That's actually really cool. I'm glad for you. I'm working. That's cool. A story planning notebook. That's actually kind of cool. There's a note. There's one of those things that's been advertised to me for a while that I really wanted to buy, which was a hero's journal. I've like seen on social media for a couple of years, and it's kind of a cool story development. It's like a story planning thing, which I thought was super cool. I just love the artwork of it. But I think that's kind of like that direction of like, okay, I need something to really flesh out and plan the whole story. Awesome. So I feel pretty good about where I'm at. So we got to do Fire God next. Let's see. So I Fire God. All right. I'm like, do I really make Fire God a character though? That's kind of interesting. I actually don't think I need to actually make Fire God a character. I think it's really only a refer. I think it's a reference. It's almost like it's because they speak of the Fire God as looking into the bonfire. I think it's really the essence of fire. I think that's what it is. I don't think they're actually seeing the essence of fire itself, but I think it's almost there. It's almost like because of the sacrifice, they're almost creating like a link or pathway. And I think that would be a better way to go about it. So yeah, I actually don't think I need to develop a fire god simply because now I've created a more fully fleshed out storyline for this part of the story for this obstacle. Awesome. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I don't actually think I need to flesh out the abomination or that. Let's see, where's my character? All right, so I'm gonna quit, or I'm gonna replace Fire God with the abomination, which will be put Fox. Awesome. I finished those three characters. All right, we're getting there. Who do I still have left next? So I still got to develop Maisie the squirrel. So we got I got a squirrel coming up. We got the Tiger King. We got Luchek, which is his second in command, which is a primate. And then we got the Wolf King, who is shown very briefly. So we have a Tiger King and a Wolf King, and it's very there's a very intentional reason with their those backstories. And then we have the Hags. I am looking forward to developing these because I think the Hags society is going to be more, they're going to be a little bit more ingrained in the history of the world. And then the last Council of Creators, only referenced in a flashback. There's actually a couple other human creators in some of the flashbacks as well, but I don't think those ones are important outside of a single flashback. I think the council, I think I need to kind of flesh out because just for my own making. Okay, 3, 6, 7, 8. All right, 8 more characters. Slowly but surely, I'm getting there. 8 more supporting or minor characters. I am on a roll. Okay. So I feel like I have made some great progress today, making some absolutely great progress. Ah, awesome. And I think that is what I have for you today, my friends. I will be returning tomorrow, Wednesday, with our Right Now Writers group at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll be here. Our writers group will be here. Come join us. If you want to come join, come get involved in the writing community, definitely drop a link or drop a comment if you want to come join in the writers group. So definitely super cool. If you haven't been seen the previous writers group episodes, a bunch of writers were all on the screen just talking about writing stuff. So it's pretty fun. It's like a casual writers group. Super cool. We'll do some writing sprints together. Hopefully get some work done. Hopefully talk some fun writing stuff. So it'll be super cool. Drop a comment if you ever want to hop onto this stream with us, and I'll include you in our group, writers group emails. So it'll be super fun. And that is what I got. If you enjoyed the stream, tap that like button. Let me know. Help us show the algorithms that writing streams are cool. All right, my friends. We'll try and pop in tomorrow, but it's back to school for my little one. I totally get that. I know school's full back in session as everybody kind of returns to their school life with the fall coming. So yeah, I'll still be here streaming every day. So I'll be here and we'll see how it goes. That brings me to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kauffman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers.